welcome back to the Tabletop Tavern Campaign 2, Episode 10. My name is Jenny. I will be your Dungeon Master now and forever, so get used to it. I'm going to allow my beautiful, wonderful, talented players to introduce themselves, starting with the fabulous, the beautiful, the not wearing the same outfit as last week. That would be crazy.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Hi, my name is Stacy. I use she, her pronouns, and today I'll be playing Rosalie Motley.
Hi, I'm Pippin. I use they, them, and today I'm playing Vesper Thornquill.
Hello, I'm Cam. I use they, them as well, and I'm playing Essie Hepburn.
Hello, everyone. I am Vic. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm playing Fleur Pharaoh.
So
you're muted, bestie.
I pushed the button, I swear.
Even the best fall down sometimes.
I'm Doe. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm playing Ian Pharaoh.
All right, and also my name is Jenny again, and my pronouns are she, her. I forget, and I will be playing all of the parts.
This is true. Multi-talented baddie.
On the Tabletop Tavern, we really got into the downtime. We did a little bit of mystery uncovering, got quite a few clues, if I say so myself. None of them fit together, but we got them. Learned some alarming things about Essie's younger sister. A little bit more about Rosalie and her parents. Vesper continued to be the big little not a man on campus. Really picking up the chicks wherever they go, and Ian took Aspen for a nice walk, and Fleur unlocked a little bit more of her nerdier side. We pick up just after midterms. The Harvest Festival break, fall break begins tomorrow morning, but right now, it is nighttime, and you are waiting for the instant updates on your grades due to arrive on your various devices. Fleur, you have unfolded your laptop, set it on your desk, and are staring at it unblinkingly. Vesper, you, of course, have your own computer and are sitting there very proper, waiting for what is hopefully going to be an A. Ian, you are standing behind Vesper, hoping that they will let you log into your email on their account because your computer bricked itself a few weeks ago, and you've just been using the one in the lab for your computer literacy course. Rosalie, Essie, you have sat directly next to each other. Essie on their big, chunky, slightly outdated iMage. Rosalie on your little foldable laptop with the extension that makes it look like a typewriter keyboard. Holding hands, nervously waiting for your grades. We're going to begin with Vesper. Vesper, you open an email from the bursar's office that contains your grades and see you averaged a 96% on your exams. You have passed every class with flying colors. Midterm exams at Eylas, you are notably difficult, and you did well above the curve, even in a wizard course. Ian, you next to Vesper, behind them, waiting, breathing down their neck. They stand up, pleased with their grades, and you log into your email. You get the password wrong a couple of times, so that's because you can't quite remember the date that you chose to make your password for this. Aspen, the cute dog, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's supposed to follow the 4. So you just keep putting in years until you hit the correct one. You log in and you see your grades.
Okay.
You got an average of a 68.9%, and you know you needed a 69.9 to pass.
Ooh.
Ian's gonna try to kind of cover the screen from this.
Oh, I'm not. I'm giving Ian his privacy. I'm standing over by my desk or petting Aspen.
In this case, he's going to turn and look at Vess and just close his eyes for a minute.
I have me and Aspen walk over to comfort.
And just kind of grandly gestures at Vesper's laptop.
All right. Meanwhile, down the hall, Fleur, you are in a largely empty dorm room. One half of this room, it looks like no one ever lived in it. A desk stands empty, a bed covered in a plastic sheet lies unused. You've been kind of leaving that half of the room alone. It sort of
Yeah.
feels like a shrine to something that you've lost. You log into your email and almost immediately get a message.
Who is it? Is it like the bursar?
Yes.
Okay, Fleur opens it.
Fleur, you got an average
Mhm.
of 52 on your exams.
Tragic,
You did
devastating.
quite well in the martial portion, but the written exam
Classic.
you just fell far too short on.
Got a lot of shit going on.
Across the hall, 2 other people get devastatingly bad news.
We're saying a prayer to the Lady on Fire together.
Before it's even open.
Quite get through the prayer before the email delivers on your computer screen. Rosalie, you got an average of a 32. Essie, you got an average of a 46.
Jesus Christ.
You know, we have finals.
Don't kill me.
It's only 30% of our grade, right?
But it's
No, I get it too. It's really hard. I take Macbeth.
Can Fleur hear them wailing?
Yeah, you hear someone sobbing across the hall.
Okay.
how am I gonna be an esteemed writer?
I'm never gonna become an actress. Oh my god, we're
Are we gonna have to
failures.
drop out? Am I gonna have to beg for money?
Oh my god.
I'm feeling so smart right now.
I can't be a street performer. I'm wiping my face on Macbeth and I offer straw to Rosie.
Oh, thank you.
Strahd like gently tentacles in your face,
Oh.
and licks your tears like she's drinking the water. Macbeth, meanwhile, is just like staring at you in that way that dogs do when they're like confused but not upset by what you're doing.
I knew boys were a bad idea.
Oh my gosh.
So you
I
two
spent
spiral.
so much time at karaoke.
You two spiral for about 45 minutes before
Yeah.
Fleur finally breaks down the door, gets you all to chill out, bringing
Yeah.
with her like a bedazzled reusable Kleenex box
Mhm.
that she's just shoved a bunch of tissues in. You all sort of calm down. She shares that she didn't pass either, and you sort of feel like if this hot girl who's very accomplished on the battlefield didn't pass, maybe we'll be okay. The next morning, you all wake up. Fleur, do you spend the night in Rosalie and Essie's room after going in there to comfort them?
Yeah, I think so.
We're
Fleur-
both hugging Fleur.
Yeah, Fleur, you fall asleep like kind of with your back up against the wall, with Rosalie and Essie cuddled up against you on Rosalie's bed. Macbeth fully like lies himself across your lap,
Yeah.
and
Like a weighted
Strahd,
blanket.
yeah, exactly. Strahd does like curl up in. You watch as she like tangles herself up in Rosalie's hair like it's a little cocoon, and then
Yeah.
falls asleep.
Are we watching Essie's favorite, oh, actually not just Essie's, our favorite episode of Off-White Physiology to comfort us?
You are, and you have it like on one of those portable DVD players. You remember them back in the early 2000s. Like one of the first DVDs, obviously, like in these players. You're watching it, sobbing. You fall asleep with Fleur's arms around you, just kind of being comforted. You know when you have a friend that has like much bigger titties than you and you're comforted by their breasts? That's absolutely what Fleur is doing for you right now. You all wake up the next morning on the first day of Harvest Festival break. Presumably, you all have places to be. This is a very, very family-focused holiday. I know that most of you live in the Eylas region, but some of you live quite a bit further away. So I'm going to have you all tell me what you're doing for the Harvest Festival. We're going to start with Vesper.
Lovely. I am going home, likely at much of Caspian's insistence. No matter how busy I might have been. But yeah, I head back to the Bardic Center.
All right, so you head back to the Bardic Sister of Freyland system, not sister, center. Oh my god, sorry, my brain is like can't words right now. It has these beautiful towering white buildings that almost seem to appear from the earth, this ancient elven architecture that has been here since the dawn of time. You can hear beautiful stringed instruments on the breeze the moment you get within a mile of the town, and you head to your family's home. Your moms, or rather your mother and your stepmother, are cooking when you get home. Now, your mom is not the world's most accomplished cook. What she lacks in talent, she makes up for with enthusiasm. You unlock the front door to your family apartment, and you can hear just like kind of half arguing, half joking in a bizarre mix-mash of like common and halfling and gnomish that's just like 30% two women calling each other bitch, 20% Caspian being like, what's your language? Because although Caspian is about your age, just doesn't have much of a similar personality to you. Someone is loudly playing the piano. It is all perfectly on key, beautiful, but just so loud, obviously meant to cover up the other 70% of the conversation, which does appear to be two women telling each other how deeply in love they are.
Lovely. I likely knocked as I like opened the door, but I knock again louder and close it behind me.
Hello?
Hi, moms.
Vesper, sweetie, is that you?
Yes. No, it's some complete stranger having walked into your home for a
You
harvest
hear like
fest.
pots and pans clattering, and your mother
be
comes
careful.
around the corner at full sprint, a little apron on, covered with like stained food. She's got like flour in her hair, and she does her best to like lift you off the ground and spin you around in a circle. Oh, there's my big bardic baby. How's class? Did you have to do a performance for your midterm? Look at you. Oh, you look so skinny. Oh, have you been eating? Have you been eating enough?
I
Your
have.
skin
We
looks
get
so
plenty of
good.
meals at the dining hall.
Oh, good.
Yes,
And they're not upsetting your stomach? I know that you have kind of an anxious tummy, dear.
No, I'm perfectly fine, Mom. But
Wow.
but yes, I'm very happy to see you all too.
Oh, Vesper. Oh, you get more handsome with every passing day. Do I tell you that? Have I told you that recently? Oh, look at you.
Yes, you
Oh,
have every time I pick up the phone.
have you been starching your shirts? Have you been starching your shirts? They look so good.
Yes, once I was able to get a step stool for the washing machine, everything was fine. That
They
first
didn't
week though, almost ran out of clothing.
they didn't have
No, not at
Oh,
first.
well, that's fine. Did you get your father's message?
No, I don't think so.
Oh.
What did he?
Well, we've been talking a little bit about how we thought that now that you were in college, it made sense for us to try to coordinate a little bit more and be a little bit more friendly with each other so that you could see your family all at the same time. So he is coming to dinner. I could only get him to agree to 2 hours, so he probably won't be here for a little bit. But
I just take her shoulders and I just go, "That's delightful. Thank you, Mom."
oh, of course, sweetie. Well, you know I'd do anything for you, right?
I know, but I also know that this is very very low on the list of things you prefer to do.
I know, sweetie, but that's what being a mother is all about, right? You make sacrifices for your children. I love you. I'm proud of you. You've been doing so well. You're my brilliant little brilliant little baby, and I wanted to show you that we really care about you and we miss you.
I missed you too. I'm glad Caspian insisted that I come.
Well, Caspian misses you too. He gets lonely.
I'm sure I hear all about his what he's up to.
Well, he's playing music, but What I care about is what you're up to. Caspian's here every weekend. You are never here, and I miss you so much. Are you going to like let him in, or and you see your mother's wife? I can't remember which one is she Aster, or is Aster your
Aster's my
mom?
mom. Stepmom is Rowan.
Okay, Rowan. There we go. I was like, I couldn't keep them apart in my head.
Oh, good.
Rowan steps around the corner. She is a halfling woman. She's got like a pair of like worn jeans on. She's still got a pair of work boots on, but she also has this like flouncy peasant top. Short cropped hair at the sides, but like longer at the top, kind of pulled back, starting to gray at the temples and the roots. Just a sun-worn face with like big smile lines, and she goes, "Oh, hey there, kiddo. How you doing?"
I'm good. I'm good, Rowan. Thank you. How about you? It seemed things were getting quite intense in the kitchen.
Oh, your mom, she wrestled me into this, and then she's insisting on helping in the kitchen. And, I think that there's a lot of stereotypes that accompany femme women there, don't you know? But let me tell you, your mother could burn an ice cream cake.
I think I actually have a memory of that.
Yeah. I think in the kitchen she's like some kind of toxic flower, good to look at, pretty in the right setting, should not be allowed near the food. So
well, I look forward to it all the same.
Oh, of course. You look good. Are you eating enough?
Yes, I am. I've prepaid scheduled weekly meals at the dining hall.
Oh, I know,
so.
but I'm just kind of worried that you might get your head stuck in a book and forget to go. So, you got friends?
Don't worry. Yes, my not my roommate would also forget, but his sister drags us to the dining hall because she will not wait to eat after practice.
Your roommate has a sister. Is she pretty?
Yes, she's very pretty. She's a barbarian. She's very capable.
Oh, well, you know what I say about capable pretty girls? And she like walks up and puts her arm around your mom and goes, you gotta lock them down because they're not on the market very long. Actually, Vesper, I don't think you've ever told us, do you like girls? I mean, obviously
yes.
It's okay if you don't like girls.
No, it's I do.
Your mom's like looking
more or less
between
everyone
the two of you,
except when they don't seem to be very interested in what I have to say.
Oh, is somebody not interested in what you have to say?
No, I just think I know I can talk about a lot of things that aren't people's preferred interests, and that's okay.
Well, nobody has to think you're interesting but you, like when you find someone who thinks you're interesting, they'll stick around to their own accord. Or, they could pop up all the time and give you poetry, which is what your mom did to me, don't you know?
I do. I still have the copies.
Yeah. Oh, they were so romantic. Okay, dear. Well, I'm going to go finish up in the kitchen. I'm going to make sure she doesn't burn down the kitchen there. Why don't you go say hey to Caspian? He's in the living room, banging on the keyboard.
I will leave you to it. And I lean into Rowan. Good luck. And I go to meet Caspian.
Rowan gives you like a little kiss on the cheek as you go to see Caspian. Vesper!
Cass, how are you?
I'm good.
Quite
How are
loud
you?
enough for...
No, I tried to cast like an amplifying spell and I got it wrong. I'm just, I'm good at the music and the art and the casting is hard. It never seems to come out the way that I want it to.
I walk towards the bench and I go, I know exactly what you mean. Up for a 4 hands?
Yeah. Do you want to do some chopsticks and piss moms off?
Absolutely, I do.
All right.
Moms just killed me.
Bang out like a 20-minute chopsticks, and you can hear Rowan swearing at you in halfling from the other room, and every time she does, Cass cackles and plays a little bit louder. and like nudges you to play louder too. And as the music reaches a crescendo, the door to the living room swings open. Standing in the doorway is a gnomish man. His hair is kind of slicked back very professionally. He's got on a tweed jacket and a little pair of reading glasses perched on his nose. In one hand is a case for a stringed instrument. You're not sure which one it is. With him, it could be any given number. He's got sort of a serious look on his face, his blonde hair sort of graying at the temples, his face a little bit scruffy, but still well shaven. Vesper. His face breaks out into a grin and he goes, "Oh, you look more handsome like me every day. Come here, kid."
I give him a hug.
Oh, I haven't heard any songs of yours lately. Have you written anything new?
Not anything new, but I have rediscovered a couple of Sylvan lullabies that I think are quite interesting.
Oh, well, lost songs are a fantastic area of bardic study. That is so exciting, kiddo. I'm so glad to hear it. I haven't talked to you in so long. Why don't you come sit down on the couch, stop playing that annoying song, and you and me and maybe...
Cass insisted, and we were trying to drown out the kitchen extraordinaire.
Cass kind of leans around you and goes, hi, Dr. Thistletune. And your dad gives him like a little mock salute.
Nice. Can I'll like grab a post-it and write maybe like some notes or like like a cheat sheet for the spell that Gaspin was working on the sheet music, and he'll know what it is because he knows that I'm not, but like, and it's like, maybe that'll help.
Cass looks at you, looks at the spell notes, gives you a wink, and then goes back to loudly playing a crescendo. Your dad kind of brings you over to the couch, sits down, and goes, "So you haven't written any music, but you found some old songs. That's really something. Vesper, have you found your stage yet?"
No, I have nothing I seem to cast on it gets it open, so not quite yet. I will admit I have not been to very many. There's the one in the auditorium, and I don't know if you can call it a stage, but there's a small space at a cafe we go to that hosts performances, and therefore it kind of seems like it qualifies, but that one didn't work either.
He kind of leans back on the couch, crosses his arm, and goes, Vess, ever since you were a baby, you have been a very good lateral thinker. We would give you one task and you'd see a different problem and use whatever solution we wanted you to use for the one task to make the next task a little easier. You've always loved puzzles and riddles, and I know I haven't always been there 100% of the time, but I like to think I know you pretty well. And I'm sorry for what I don't know about you, but you gotta stop taking things so literally, kid. The good thing about being a bard, the beautiful thing about being a bard, or hell, a sorcerer or a cleric or one of those other crazy casting classes is most of the performance takes place off stage. So maybe your stage isn't a stage per se, but something a little more practical. We can't all be academics, right? Don't tell your mother I said that. She desperately wants you to get a PhD of some kind.
Oh, I know.
Well, I've always... He kind of glances at Caspian and leans in a little bit, and he goes, I've always felt you were a talented, bright kid who, God bless him, didn't have all that much in common with your mom and I, and I've always liked that about you, Vesper.
Oh. It's not like I don't try, Dad.
That's not what I'm saying at all. You know that, right?
Okay.
Listen, I guess I'm being too... What I'm trying to say, Vesper, is college is about figuring out who you are. And I think your mom and I have very specific ideas of who we want you to be. But maybe it's not the same thing. So when you find your stage, maybe don't look for the one we'd choose for you. That's all I'm saying. And he kind of pats your hand and he sniffs the air for a moment and goes, oh, by the goddess, she still can't cook, can she?
No, but that's what we have Rowan for, and I'm glad you came because it'll be much better that way.
Oh, I was really happy to get the invitation. I missed you, kid.
I did too.
And you look more handsome every day, and I think that's because you look like me. And he sort of gives you like an awkward dad handshake that then transitions into another hug. And he wanders into the kitchen. Is there anything else you would like to do?
No, I think I'll just go check on Caspian again, and we'll hang out for a bit.
You and Cass hang out and have a lovely vacation together, just like being brothers. Your dad actually spends a couple of hours not just having dinner with your family, but he even plays a few rounds of board games with you and your moms and Cass until he and your mom get into a little bit too much of a tiff and Rowan walks him home. It seems to you like Rowan and your dad actually get along fairly well, and you think that maybe they're both unified by the fact that they have dealt with the same crazy person for quite a while.
Yeah, it's a la Vivian and Harry.
Exactly. Yeah, you and Cass spend a lovely weekend together. It's really nice to see your brother. You help him with his casting, and he even kind of shares with you some of the things he's been learning in his bard courses.
Nice.
The one thing about Cass that you've learned is that he loves you enough to maintain the lie until you're ready. Meanwhile, we are going to move on to Rosalie. Rosalie, I believe that you are spending the holiday with someone, so we'll go ahead and call this a Rosalie and Essie moment. What are you two doing over the Harvest Festival?
To my mom's place, probably. I think it's a little bigger. And
Essie, we have so much planned. I can't wait. We can do some candle making. We can make some pies. We can set the table together.
Oh,
Really? I've never to be honest, I don't really know too much about Harvest Festival traditions. It just wasn't really a thing when I was younger, but I have always wanted a traditional Harvest Festival. This is gonna be so fun, Rosie.
Well, we can totally mess with Harry's meat pies. I like to put we can cut little smiley faces in them, but it's kind of you just can't let him catch you. But I'm pretty sure he doesn't mind. And so.
Oh, speaking of Harry, your dad invited me to this event at Harry's. Are you coming too? Do you want to come?
I'll come. Yeah. What are besties for? And she's gonna stick out the little necklace for maybe
I stick up mine, and I'm assuming they're magnetic.
I'd
so
connect it, yeah.
all right. So you two go to the Eclipse Cafe for the first half of your Wednesday off before the Harvest Festival. You attend this writing workshop led by Jean, who does begin the workshop with 15 minutes of bragging about how their talented daughter is here in attendance with her beautiful friend. And the two of you have a lovely time. Afterwards, Jean gives you about $25 and tells you to go get yourselves something nice for lunch. Well, he and Harry go to help your mom start cooking. Harry makes a save me face at you, Rosalie, as your dad kind of bundles them into the car, and they disappear kind of down the road towards your mom's house.
Can I if I have a chance with Dr. Motley, like ask if they have any like Sylvan fairy tale books or like children's books I can get grab or like something along those
Absolutely.
lines.
Dr. Motley gets very excited and pulls about 6 dozen books from the shelf and starts like laying them out and telling you the titles, at which point Harry's like,
I look at Rosie
okay,
for
Jeannie,
help.
we're gonna choose 3 of these. You choose your 3 favorites, give them to her, and then when they come back, she can choose like another 3 books, and we'll just kind of go with that. And Jean's like, okay, and like frantically pawing through these books before they finally select 3 and slide them towards you.
I'll snag them and I'll like kind of show Rosie and be like, okay, so like, do you think this would be good for like starting to read, like not quite there yet,
Yeah.
but, like beginning?
And since you're sleeping over, we can read them to bed just like a real fairy tale. Like,
That would be so good. That would be
Yeah.
so cool.
and so, but let's spend this money. I'm getting kind of hungry.
Yeah, me too.
All right.
So you kind of bring your 3 books with you. Would you like to know the titles?
Yeah, hit me with it.
Okay, so one is called The Princess and the Fae. The next one is called The Broken Promise. And the third one is called The Legend of the Fae Touched.
Do I have a favorite out of those? I want to know that.
Yes, you really like The Broken Promise.
Okay.
It's a story about a fairy who makes a promise, is made a promise by a human. And then the human breaks the promise and it breaks fairy. And in order to fix fairy, the human has to like make good on the promise. You loved it as a little kid, and now as an older person, you're like, oh, it's such a heavy-handed allegory for like, you should keep your word. But it is beautiful, and it had like really pretty illustrations.
Oh, that one's my favorite.
Oh, we should read that tonight.
Okay.
Oh, speaking of like, okay, should we get like snacks for like a sleepover? Like,
Oh my God. Okay. Okay.
since Ian's not here, we could get popcorn.
Can we put like little can we put
He'd freak out if he smelled it in the dorms. So
Just marching down the hall, smelling popcorn in someone's dorm.
only if we put little chocolate chips in it. Like,
oh, that sounds so good.
okay.
You could get fleshy. So fleshy.
We're called them
Mushies?
Oh my god, fleshies?
Mushies.
Fleshies?
Mushies, I think it was.
Oh, I heard fleshies and I was like, what?
Fucked up if true.
I was trying to think of a rhyming word for slushies.
I think mushy works. Mushy works. You're good. You're good.
Yeah, mushies
We should
great.
get mushies.
Oh my gosh. You're brilliant, but only if we mix the cherry and the
Blue raspberry is a flavor that is natural in this world.
I know, but I'm
Natural
trying to mix
Cola?
Coca-Cola.
Cola.
Mocha Mola.
It's
Guacamole.
clearly it's just cola.
it's just cola. If we mix the cherry cola with the blue raspberry together,
That sounds so
There we-
good.
we get so much. Do you think they're on the sale right now?
Maybe. They
How
could
much-
be on sale.
How much
Sometimes-
mushies do you think we can get with $25?
Oh my god.
Well, they're like $2 a mushy for the extra large. So we could
No,
be
no.
up for days.
Okay, we'll definitely need those 3 other books. And
All right.
Alright, so the 2 of you go to the local hang on. 8:50 late, and you You get some mushies. The guy will not sell you 10 mushies the way that you are trying to convince him to. So you get 2 each, a box of popcorn, several bags of mini chocolate chips, and the guy promises you that if you come back in at least 6 hours, you can get more mushies. He's just a little concerned about your hearts. You then bring your mushies that you are now enjoying to Dr. Vivian Motley's home. Viv lives in a house in the suburbs of Lower Heights in Eylas. It's kind of a smaller semi-cottage. There is a separate room that Rosalie stays in, but it's not particularly large. You walk in through the front door and okay, actually, let's have you roll a perception check upon arriving before you even walk through the door.
I rolled a 9.
An 8.
We are enjoying these mushies.
I have good news. You have advantage on these kinds of rolls because they are passive rolls and you have your companions with you.
Oh, sweet.
They can give you the help action. I believe that's on both of their pages.
17.
13.
Rosalie, you could swear as you walk up, you hear like soft twinkling piano music playing a slow waltz song as you approach the door, but you put your key into the lock, open it up, and are buffeted by waves of sound as the music switches to like a heavy rock album. Harry sticks his head out from around a corner and goes, "Oh, hey there, kid. Good to see you. Is that a mushie? Did you went out and you got mushies?"
Do you want some? I got all the flavors.
They're
He,
so
like,
good.
They straight up have full arms of mushies. Did you get one? They're like carrying 4.
He leans over, tastes it, takes one out of your arms, and is like, "It's pretty good, pretty good. I'm gonna call this one mine and throw some rum in here so that I don't have to deal with your parents as much as possible."
Speaking of, can we just kind of go upstairs?
I mean, I am, again, I've told you this before, I am not your dad. You can do whatever the hell you want as far as I'm concerned. Do I think your mother might set you on fire if you don't stop and say hello? Yes.
Okay.
Could she actually do that, Rosie?
Yes, most definitely.
Okay.
And she would heal us just to burn us again.
Really?
All right.
Badass.
Rosalie's gonna put the mushie on the closest counter or somewhere to put it down,
Okay.
and just to, I'm assuming it's walk towards the kitchen,
Yes.
or the living room. I'm
You
not too
walk
sure where
down
the
the
music's
hall
coming from.
and make a left. The music's definitely coming from the kitchen.
Okay, then following the music.
So the two of you follow the music and head towards the kitchen. You round the corner and you can see in the kitchen your mother and your father. Your mom and dad, Rosalie, have always had this really unique thing where ever since their divorce, when they're around each other, it's almost like they're teenagers again, in that there's like a little bit of petty kind of energy between them at all given times. Your mom has her hair tied up and you can see like the shaved underside and the kind of like barely stitched together holes where she used to have gauges in her ears. She's got a lit cigarette tucked behind one ear and is wearing a pair of fishnet stockings, combat boots, ripped jean shorts, and like a large oversized My Alchemical Romance t-shirt. And she is sort of half arguing with your father as she whisks a large bowl of something. Your dad is leaning up against the counter in a pair of ripped pants, a like weird tight fitted shirt for something called Lean Day. It's probably a band you're not really familiar. And they've got their like long hair kind of pulled back into a low ponytail, with their red glasses perched on the tip of their nose. They've also got a cigarette like between one of their hands, and they appear to be critiquing your mother's cooking technique. Like, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it. It's gonna taste awful that way. Well, why don't you do it yourself? Jean. Okay, I don't. You can either criticize me or you can help me. You can't do both. I don't know. It's kind of like it's you got like you make that face when I'm criticizing
Hi,
you. What face?
hi,
Okay,
mommy.
fine.
Hi, daddy.
Oh, sweetheart. She pulls the cigarette out, puts it out very quickly, leaves it in the ashtray on the counter, and pushes the ashtray behind the toaster and goes, "How are you, baby?"
Me and Essie can help
Hi.
if you need help.
Oh, Essie. Oh, you look so beautiful,
Hi,
honey.
Dr. Motley.
She
And
gives
hi,
you
other Dr. Motley. Nice to see you again.
both a big hug, and Jean sort of takes the cigarette that he's holding and tucks it behind their ear and like gives you both like an awkward side hug with the side that the cigarette's not on and goes, "Oh, hey there, kids. How are you? Essie, you look like a spring day when the rain has just fallen on the dewdrop grass." I'm sorry. I'm really not in that kind of mode today.
That's okay. You don't need to be in that headspace all the time.
Well, I would be, but I'm watching Viv just ruin that frittata. Oh, again. Again. I don't know. First of all, I don't know what face you're referring to. Second of all, beaten eggs does not a frittata make.
Are you cooking a frittata in a saucepan?
Essie, sweetheart, why don't you go chop some celery for me, okay?
No, it was okay. Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Rosie, sweetie, how about you and your dad get started on the rest of the stuffing? The breadcrumbs are in the oven, and we can all talk, and we can be a family, and we can be civil. I was civil. I'm just making you make the cute face that you make when you hate me. Honestly, Jean. Honestly, can we be adults for like 2 hours? Come on, we are 35 years old, Jean.
See, I'm gonna go grab those mushies. I think we'll need them.
You go back out to the hallway, and Harry is standing there pouring some rum into his mushy, and he's like, "Do you want some? I shouldn't. Do you want some? You're old enough, right? You're 18."
Rosalie's gonna look back at the room and look at Harry and be like,
Not this time. I got a lot of. I gotta tell my parents about midterms.
Oh, maybe I should give some to your parents then.
You know, Harry, I always liked you.
He like walks past you into the kitchen, and you hear him go, "All right, who wants to do some Harvest Festival shots?" Right as your mother goes, "Harry, where did you get a mushy?"
Rosalie's gonna pass the mushy over to Essie, trying. I will try to sleight of hand it. I'm not gonna take responsibility for this.
Oh, this was Harry. Your mom has
Yeah.
not seen you in your mushies yet.
Okay, sweet. Oh, then I'm not saying anything.
I'm still in the kitchen chopping, and I am just ignoring eye contact because both Dr. Motleys are very cool, and I want to be like them, but I also am so scared in this moment. Very different energies.
Harry walks into the room and says, "Who wants to do some Harvest Festival shots?" to you, to the assembled group, and both Doctors Motley stare at him like he's crazy. They're like, and you watch as he turns up the volume on the heavy metal, pours each of them a shot, and goes, "It's not a celebration. The champion didn't die for nothing. Come on!" And they both really like do shots, and you notice that they appear to be almost like, again, there's something about them that strikes you as teenagers. And you realize that based off of what they said, what Dr. Motley said, they would have had Rosalie at some point in their undergraduate education. They were quite young parents by your calculation.
Uh-huh. I'm not gonna say anything on that.
Rosalie, sweetheart, can you get the bread out of the oven? I'm a little worried it's gonna burn.
Yeah. Can I actually grab it with my hands, or is that like?
You can.
Oh, it's nice.
Rosalie, what are you doing?
Oh, it's completely fine, but you can't touch it. Fire safety, you know.
Oh, Essie, sweetheart, yes. hot food is an expression of the goddess's passion, so it's really not a problem for us. Well, it's a problem for Jean, but it's not a problem for me or Rosie. But it is also a problem for Harry, and presumably you. Please don't touch hot things, honey. Okay, your hands, they're fragile. They're part of your craft, I assume. So
I'm gonna put them by the window, I'm assuming, to let them cool. I'll also open up the window because I'm assuming it's filled with a lot of smoke.
yeah,
Yes.
oh, absolutely. There's like someone in here, like you can tell that there's just been a lot of arguing in place of cooking correctly. But there's a lot of love and heavy metal music.
So, what are we making, Mom?
Okay, so you're going to be making the stuffing. Once we get that, we can stuff the bird and we can throw that in the oven. Your father made some mashed potatoes that are already in the fridge. Harry is in charge of the bread and the pies. Obviously, he's making his meat pie, but he's also got like some sweet pies. And then, Essie, dear, do you have any food restrictions we need to know about?
No, I'm pretty good. I don't think I'm allergic to anything.
Well, the good news is, if there was one place to have an allergic reaction for the first time, I'd say do it here.
Can me and
Fair.
Essie help with the meat pies and also the bleeding pies? You know, the ones filled with strawberry.
Yes. Okay. Yes, you could absolutely help with the bleeding pies and the meat pies. Harry's on that. Sweetheart. By the way, I texted you the other day and you didn't reply. How did midterms go?
Oh,
And Rosalie's gonna start playing with her hair a little bit and kind of look out the window.
Can I throw Rosalie a bardic inspiration really quick?
Yeah, absolutely. How do you inspire her?
I'm gonna do like a very comical whistle, just and I hope that counts.
That does count. Yeah.
Well, like, you know, you guys have always said that like college is for finding yourself and and
found out a
experiencing
lot.
life and to not take myself too seriously. and I got like a 32.
They both of your parents kind of freeze. And do you want to roll a perception check?
Yeah.
You can roll it with advantage because this is your mom and dad. I'm going to say that you know them pretty well.
23.
You see a lot of emotions cross your mom's face. There's the initial expected disappointment, and then thoughtfulness, and something else, and then something you would categorize as like acceptance. Your dad is always kind of unreadable, but you do see their eyes narrow, and then their face kind of relax as well, as if they've reached a similar conclusion to your mom. Your mom...
It's only midterms. I'm taking, you know, there's always time to take yourself seriously.
Sweetie, we're not mad at you, okay? You don't need to worry about us being upset about this. Obviously, we wish that you did better, but it's an adjustment period. This is your first time in college, okay? And it can be really hard and very different. And your dad goes, absolutely. You know, I had a hard time my first semester of Bard classes. I knew how to play guitar, and they did not want me to play guitar. I was not allowed to play guitar. That was very hard. And your mom nods and was like, that was very hard. And Harry, Harry did really well in the fighter classes, but that's a lot of hitting things. And Harry goes, lots of hitting things. God, I'm good at hitting things. And your mom kind of reaches back towards the ashtray and pulls out her cigarette, kind of resigned to the fact that you saw her smoking it earlier, lights it, and goes, you know, sweetheart, I think of it this way. At this point in my first semester, I was pregnant with you. So it really, like, you could have fucked this up a lot worse. And I'm not saying, sweetheart, that you were a fuck up. You were the best thing that ever happened to any of us. And your dad goes, absolutely, best thing that could have happened to us. We are so happy with you. We love you so much. Harry goes, second best thing that ever happened to me. I got Harriet, you know. And somewhere in the back room, you can hear Harriet go, thanks, Dad, and the sound of like something playing on the Nintendo system. And your mom goes, but you know, it could be worse. And the good thing is it was just midterms. You have finals, and now you know what works for studying and what doesn't. So you're gonna do great, baby, okay?
Oh.
Okay.
Oh my
I'll
God.
still be okay.
Sweetie, don't cry. And she like brings you in for a hug, and your dad wraps around the other side, and your parents make like awkward eye contact over your head.
Essie hugs too and just like gets the whole family in there, just
You do
forces
that?
them
Nice.
closer
And
and starts
Harry
crying because
seems to
Rosie's
see what's
crying.
happening and like kind of gets himself around everyone as well, and is like,
We can still be successful adults.
"Oh, sweetheart, yes, again." I mean, by the end of my first year, I had a baby, and I became a doctor, sweetheart.
Have a baby.
You have a kitten that your dad told me about that you didn't. Well, that one is the one I'm upset about. Sweetheart, you're gonna be fine. Okay.
Okay.
You'll be fine. Nobody does perfect their first semester, and if they do, they're an outlier. You're gonna do so well. I am so proud of you, and I am so proud of you too, kiddo. You are the flower that blooms in adversity, and we love you so much. You are our little rose, little Rosie. You are perfect despite your thorns, okay?
What are we rehydrating the breadcrumbs with?
Well, sweetheart, we don't have to it's so you put them in the food processor, but you pulse it twice, and then you know what? How about you supervise your dad, and and Essie can help, because I think that they might know what stuffing is more than you do. Essie, do you know what stuffing is?
Never celebrated a harvest festival. I have absolutely no idea how to make stuffing, but I am very willing to learn.
Rosalie, you feel your mom let go of you a little bit and kind of grab tighter onto Essie and goes, "Happy first harvest festival, baby. We're so happy to have you here with us. How did you do on your midterms?"
It could have been better. Some constructive criticism would have been to get more answers right.
Oh, sweetheart. Well, we're proud of you
we
regardless.
talked about it. We had a whole crying session, a few actually together.
Well, it sounds like maybe you two spiraled together, and that's something that we're going to try to avoid. But Essie, we are very proud of you too. Super proud of you. You are carrying on the bardic tradition, and I think that's very punk rock of you. That is so punk rock of you. We think you
It
are
is.
so punk rock,
I don't know
Essie,
what that
okay?
is, but
You can just hang out here. We are so proud of you. Happy Harvest Festival. Why don't you and Rosie go decompress with Harriet? She's playing on the Nintendo in the other room, and maybe all three of you can set the table together, okay?
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I love you both. I love you both. I love you both. Essie, kid, I love you.
I love you too.
There's like
You're
one
really
last big
smart.
group hug in the kitchen before Vivian shoves you all out into the living room. And oh, go ahead.
Oh, do you think maybe we can smoke too? Maybe it'll help with the stress. I always watch that. It helps with you guys, and
Both of your parents actively holding cigarettes go, "Don't smoke cigarettes. They're terrible for your health."
okay.
And your mom goes, "Your father's especially. You know, they picked it up from me, and I know it seems cool and it helps with our stress, but it's really not. Like, it is significantly worse for humans because they have a shorter lifespan to begin with. So, like, I'm not
But
sure
we're
about the research."
Faye. Then it'd be cool, and I
It
can
might
teach her
ruin my
how
voice.
Rosalie,
punk rock it is.
there is nothing cool about smoking cigarettes.
Okay.
Go play the Nintendo.
Okay.
Hey, I love you.
Love you.
Don't touch my cigarettes, I'll know.
I won't.
The goddess is watching.
Goddess is watching, and the goddess loves you too.
Of course, the goddess adores you, sweetheart. Both of you.
Okay.
Okay. You go play the Nintendo with Harriet, who drags your ass in Sario Party back and forth, multiple rounds. You take a break to set the table and eat with your family. Your mom and dad argue back and forth, and Harry laughs along in a way that seems to defuse the tension. And it's honestly a really nice holiday together, Rosalie. Essie, you fit right in, and something about this family fills a part of you you didn't know that you were missing. They laugh together. Even when they argue, you can tell that there's love there. Even when Vivian and Eugene get in a fight and Vivian throws a flaming bread roll at Jean's face, which he knocks away laughing with magic. You can tell that however much they might argue with each other, their relationship with Rosalie ties them together. Harriet treats you like her new big sister, and you and Rosalie spend the next week in Rosalie's bunk beds, which Rosalie has never gotten a chance to use with another person. Staying up late, talking, projecting
Cuddling
stars
Macbeth
on the
and
ceiling,
Strahd.
cuddling. Strahd and Macbeth become fast friends with Eugene, and even Viv takes to both of them. You catch her on multiple occasions asleep in the living room, Rosalie, with Strahd on her lap and Macbeth across her feet after a long night shift at the hospital. Which brings us, of course, to the Pharaohs. Pharaoh siblings. Happy Harvest Festival. I'm
Hey.
assuming you go home.
Hell yeah.
And
I think
that's
we would
good,
be murdered if we didn't.
because your
Yeah.
mother, the morning after midterms, shows up in front of your dorm in her minivan and lays on the horn.
Oh no.
Fleur goes, yes!
Ian's probably like finishing packing stuff up in preparation.
Fleur's
Like-
got her bedazzled lacrosse bag packed full of clothing, and she's got her bag of holding, and she doesn't even knock. She knows Vesper's gone. She just opens Ian's door and goes, Mom's here.
Yeah, I heard. Hold on. I'm just grabbing some stuff for Aspen. And he throws like a couple of toys, a ball, and then maybe some snacks, like little treats, TREATS, into his bag.
He didn't even react. He didn't
I
even
like that-
flinch.
I love that you had to spell that so that Odin doesn't freak out in the background.
He did go to doggy daycare today, so he's really freaking
He's a
tired.
bit tired.
Sleepy boy. Sorry, I got us off track.
No worries. And then he like throws his backpack over his shoulder and kicks on his shoes and then heads out the door with Fleur.
So you get in your mom's car. She drives you to the Lower Heights, to a significantly nicer neighborhood than where we just were with Rosalie and Essie. You have never been quite well off enough to live in the Upper Heights, but you are sure that your parents could probably swing one of the smaller houses there. You live on a large plot of land in a gated section of the Lower Heights, in a nice, spacious house with a separate dining room and kitchen, a large living room, a large entryway, and everyone has their own separate rooms, except for, of course, Odin, who sleeps on
Odin.
Ian.
Aspen.
Aspen, who sleeps on. I was sitting here like, don't call him Aspen. His name is Odin. Sorry. We are recording these sessions back to back, so your DM is.
It's been
she's
several
struggling.
hours.
Yeah.
It's hard.
It's so hard to be me.
It's hard to play D&D.
I'm
What a
playing
hard life
so
we
many
live.
Parts. You get home and your mother immediately goes into frantic mode. You notice that she is in fact in a pair of her own velvet fruity couture sweatpants, a tank top. Her hair's pulled up into like a messy curly bun. She's got like a headband holding it back. You see that she is in a pair of fuzzy slippers, and that she did in fact drive to pick you up in these fuzzy slippers. She gets back, she throws an apron around her waist and sprints into the kitchen, ready to start cooking. Okay, Fleur, Ian, you need to make sure that the tofurkey is thawed. Fleur, I need you to just come in here and chop the vegetables as quickly as you can. Your father is out back. If you want to go grab him, he's supposed to be making sure that the oven gets hot enough because it's been so wonky recently since the arcane engine went out. We've had to use like truly
The arcane engine
methods.
went out?
Fleur just hugs her mom. Hi, Mom.
Sweetheart. Oh, you
I
smell
miss
so
you.
good.
Well, I think so do you.
You smell like strawberries and vanilla. Oh,
You smell like cooking
oh,
in like a good
I've
way.
been cooking, sweetheart. I'm making all your
know.
favorite foods.
I know, I'm so excited.
I'm making the strawberry rhubarb pie that you
Yes.
love. And then, of course, I'm making your brother's favorite, even though it's strange, walnut cream. Who the hell eats that? And then, of
So
course,
weird.
I eat that.
Yeah,
And
and
Ian
it's
walks over
weird.
with the frozen tofurkey and like gives his mom a kiss on the cheek before like thawing it in the sink.
she like kisses you as well. And then she goes, oh, no, if only your father would come in, the whole gang would be together. And
Blair like runs to the back door and is like, Dad.
your dad sticks his head out from behind kind of his pet project, which is the old grill in the backyard that never works. And he goes, has your mom calmed down?
Define calm.
Has she redirected her energy to someone that's not me?
Yes. Me and
Okay.
Ian are here now.
Excellent. He stands up, wipes his hands on his pants, and gives you a hug. Oh, it's so good to see you.
Oh, I
sweetheart.
missed you, Dad.
You smell like strawberries and vanilla.
Thank you. You smell like Dad. I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah, well, you know, that's the scent of the deodorant I wear.
Yeah. You just smell like
It's
Dad.
not- it's unscented. I wear unscented. The classic elder spice. Anyways, is your brother here?
Yeah. He's doing the tofurkey.
Ian!
Yeah, what's up?
And he walks in, arm still around Fleur, and goes, oh, good to see you. Did you get taller somehow?
That would be sick.
Ian, your pants are a little short. You're definitely still growing.
Ian's like, maybe it's it. I've got a lot of cool things going on. And he kind of like flexes a little bit, trying to look a little bit taller.
Your dad
Ian, what are you doing?
kind of nods and goes, you know, if you wanted to over break, we could talk about maybe your protein, because I know you're doing that vegetarian thing, and a little worried about how you're going to gain muscle mass with that. Not that, you know, like muscle's not everything. It's just, it's good in the adventuring thing.
I honestly think the walnut cream is going to be the most protein I've gotten in a while.
That is off-putting and bad, Ian. That's bad. Ian, what the hell?
Are
Ian,
nuts?
your father and I are paying for a meal plan, and what are you just eating carbs? Are you going down there every day and just eating bread? Ian!
I
Fleur?
try to get him to add cheese
Listen.
to all of his meals because that's a
Fleur.
little. I try to get him
They
to add
have
cheese. There's.
tofu. They have
I know.
beans. What's the point of him always making
I
us buy
know.
all these bean products if he never eats them? Okay.
Tell me about it.
Okay,
Fiona,
I
I'm
have
gonna
been
need you
eating
to-
a lot of dried chickpeas. Those are pretty good in protein. However, we have a friend whose dad owns a cool cafe, and I may have been spending a lot of time there, so I am highly caffeinated. Also, I did pretty okay on midterms. Not great, but pretty okay.
Oh, you passed. Oh, sweetheart, that's so good. They're so hard.
No, I was like 1 point away. I got like a 68.7 and I needed a 69, but I'll call it close.
Oh, well, that's okay, sweetheart. I didn't pass my first midterms either.
Yeah, me neither.
I got 110%.
Of course you did, Dad.
Dad, how?
He's smart.
I have questions. We'll talk later. And then it's like, but check this out. Aspen passed some midterms, and he like calls to Aspen and brings him in and like gets him to do a series of like shake and roll over and like go retrieve this. And he's just like such a proud dad.
Aspen does all of that and more, and Jack goes, it's a good warhound you got there. And he does a little salute to Aspen, and Aspen like straightens himself up into like a perfect straight sitting position, and he goes, and he still remembers his old tricks.
And Ian chuckles and he's like, I may be eating vegan and vegetarian, but I found out that dried meats are Aspen's fave.
It does not take an arcane scientist to realize that dogs like meat, but I'm glad you put that one together, kid.
I didn't know where Wolf told me.
He's very smart. He's just distractible. Isn't that right, sweetheart?
So distractible.
You and the dog. Okay. I need to put the pies in the oven. Ian, can you help me? I've been climbing on the counters to try to open up things.
Takes the pies, puts them in the oven.
So you help your mom in the kitchen, and Fiona goes, and Fleur, Jack, can you set the table, please? We're going to be having some of the neighbors over for dinner, and I want to make sure it's absolutely flawless and, you know, military excellence and whatnot. And Jack's like, it's called ironing. You just iron the tablecloth, Fiona, honestly. And she kind of giggles, and he walks out, and he kind of does the like, shout out to Griff Littlefoot on this one. He like kind of like pinches her butt as he walks by, and she does like a little like, ah! And you guys realize that maybe it's been good for your parents that they don't have kids in the house anymore.
Mm-hmm. Ian like gives Fleur a look, and then like
Fleur looks at Ian and goes like, ugh.
He slowly puts something in the fridge while just staring at it.
Fleur follows her dad because one, her mom asked her to, and two, she wants to talk to her dad.
Your dad opens up a closet and begins to remove the nice china and hands you a folded tablecloth. And he goes, so I'm thinking we put that on the table and then we iron it and then we put out the plates and then we fold the napkins into swans because your mom thinks that's impressive.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, one time in college, I folded her washcloth into a swan and then she went out with me. So
you gotta say really glad that happened because I wouldn't be here if not for that. While we do that, Dad, can I ask you some questions?
Yeah, I feel like some of your questions would probably be better for your mom.
No, it's not that kind of question, Dad.
Okay, all right. Well, you know, you're at an age where I kind of feel like, you know, we're going apart because like, yeah, I know about barbarian things, but you're at an age where it's like I don't want to know and you don't want to tell me sort of situation.
It's nothing about that.
Okay, all right.
Do not even worry.
Okay, but you've got it figured out. You got like one of the things or like the other things or like
it's sorted.
Okay,
I'm
and
smart.
you know about how to use so that you don't.
Mm-hmm. You're making this way harder on yourself, Dad.
Yep. So if it's not about that, which is good, what else is it about?
Ian.
What about Ian?
And you.
We've been working on it, you know. I have been trying to
not the two of you, Dad.
He does bother me, and your mother and I have been talking about emotional openness and how I can show it towards your brother a little bit more because it's always been easy with you, but we're both kind of closed off guys, and there's a lot of masculinity stuff going on there, and we've been seeing this couples there. Okay, what's going on?
I think you're doing super good with that, and I think Ian's trying really hard too. But it's not about your relationships. So you know how you're the protector of the family?
Sure, yeah.
When you're not
also
around,
have a home security system.
Yeah, no, I know. You know what I mean.
Right. Sure.
When you're not around, I have to protect Ian.
Ian is 6 feet 2 inches.
And he'll run away from a fight if I'm not there.
Well, he's got a big dog.
Okay, so I can't.
All I'm saying is you're selling your brother a little short here. But
I know he's very good, but it's just my job to pick on him. I'm his big sister.
Of course, being a metaphor here, less of a literal. And he kind of like laughs a little bit, and he's like, "Your mom is so short." I thought, you know, I'm tall. I thought maybe we'd.
No. Dad, I had a roommate named Cammie.
Yeah. Yes.
And she knew some stuff about Ian. And then some stuff happened to Cammie. And I can't talk about some of the stuff that I talked about. Like I can't say it.
Fleur,
but Dad,
Fleur,
I need to know I need to know about your job and Ian.
Fleur.
Yes. I need to know, Dad. I'm 18. You can't hide it from me for forever.
Don't know what you're talking about, and I don't know who you've been talking to, but what I would say is that why don't you come in my home office?
Okay. And Fleur follows him.
You walk down the hall to your dad's home office. It's just like a desk and a computer chair, and kind of the classic like dad office where there's like all of his framed degrees and like 2 photos of his family on the wall. On the desk is a picture of you, a picture of Ian. They're your high school graduation photos. And then a picture of him and your mom as young people, probably in one of their first couple years of dating, laughing. He's like got her on his back and she is just, you can see like screaming with laughter. She's got this like, big curly head of hair, even curlier. It looks like maybe she permed it. And he kind of sits you down across from his chair in the desk and sits down himself and goes, "This office is subject to several warding enchantments that ensure that our conversations cannot be heard.
Okay.
I don't know what you know or how you found it out, and I am guessing that you cannot tell me either of these things.
Correct.
What I can tell you is that when you are in our home, you should not talk about any of these things. I have had to make certain sacrifices to our family privacy to maintain some promises I've kept."
Is that why Cammy was my roommate?
No, that's...
Like, because of you?
Yes, in that our family is known to be safe. And your roommate's safety was and is a matter of not just national security, but life and death for a great deal of people.
Do you know anything that I wouldn't know? Anything that you've learned?
Nothing I can tell you.
Will you though?
Fleur, my job is very complicated, and it's not one I would have chosen for myself. It was if it was up to me, I would have retired and just stayed with your mom the rest of my days. But when Ian happened, I knew I had a choice between living the life I wanted to live and helping someone who needed it. And so I chose the latter.
So, Dad, what is Ian? Where did he come from? I know things now, and I can't say what they are, but like,
Fleur,
I'm a big sister.
Fleur,
And how do I reconcile that, Dad?
Well, Fleur, it's 3 weeks is the first thing
I know.
I would say. The second thing I would say is that I can't tell you everything. That there are deals that we make that we can't reveal everything in. And you of all people should know that. But
I know.
What I can tell you is that to a lot of people, your brother represented and represents something they are not comfortable with. And so when he arrived, so to speak, there was a push from within the government to return to sender, as it were. And given that extraplanar maintenance, surveillance, and espionage was my field, I was privy to that decision, and I didn't like the choices that they made. So I made a deal of my own.
First of all, that's really cool. Dad, that's pretty sick.
It is very sick, and if you tell anyone, I can promise you that both of us will be killed.
Don't worry. I'm beginning to learn that sometimes you have to not tell people things to keep them safe. And I don't like that. But I don't know.
And Fleur, please understand that everything I can't tell you and everything I can't tell Ian, and that is why I can't tell you. Because there are truths, Fleur, that are far more dangerous to know than to live in ignorance of.
So here's are Ian and Cammy the same?
They are distinctly not.
Okay. Because they have the same birthmark.
I'm not surprised by that.
Okay. Here's my thing, Dad. I don't know who took Cammy. I don't know what happened. I got a weird text from her the other day. I don't know what happened, Dad. And I'm worried that whatever was coming for Cammy also wants to come for Ian. And I don't know if that's true, but I'm scared. So maybe I need to know some things.
Fleur. You got a text from Cammy?
Yeah.
What did it say?
Nothing.
Did you still have it?
No, it disappeared.
Your dad kind of turns on his computer and types something up in a language you don't understand and nods and goes, Fleur, I can't tell you what's happening, but I can assure that as long as Cammy isn't here, those same people cannot get Ian.
When Cammy comes back, can they?
Fleur, do you like fairy tales?
You know I do, Dad. You told me them every night when I was a kid. Well, me
The
and Ian.
elves have strange ones, don't you think? And he stands up, turns off his computer, and walks back towards the kitchen.
Thanks, Dad.
And he kind of like raises his hand. Ian, you are in the kitchen with your mom. She has you just like opening all of the tallest cabinets, pulling stuff down. You realize about halfway through that she's actually making you reorganize the kitchen so everything is on her level and she does not need to stand on any high surface. And as she like hands you one of the several stand mixers that she owns, because Fiona is nothing if not prepared. She looks up at you and goes, "So, Ian."
So,
Sweetheart,
Mom, yeah.
I feel like we haven't caught up in a long time, and I know your life's been crazy, but I have to ask because you know me, your sister and I are very alike in a lot of ways. How's school? And by how's school, I of course mean, have you met anyone? Any boys? Any girls? Anyone else?
I mean, I've met a lot of people, yeah.
Oh, you've met a lot of people.
Yeah, I think we have like a really cool, our adventuring party, I think is like a really cool group of people. It's my roommate Vesper, which, did you get to meet Vesper? You didn't meet Vesper because you said goodbye at the freaking elevator, Mom.
No, but you and Fleur have sent me lots of photos. That's not the question I'm asking, Ian.
You asked if I met people. I'm telling you.
Florian Farrow, I know for a fact that you are very smart. You just act dense when it is easier. You have to tell me I am your mother and I love you. And frankly, I'm a little bored because I was a stay-at-home mom. And now all I do is go to book club and play tennis. And I miss having a dog to walk around at least. And now I'm just sitting in the house waiting for your father to come home. And I am so bored. Please give me a little bit of gossip to live off of. Have you met anyone? Please, Ian.
Ian like sets the stand mixer on the counter and starts like kind of scratching at some of the paint on the back of it. And he's like, Mom, have you ever considered maybe getting another dog first of all?
I don't want another dog. I liked Aspen, but I don't want another dog. Are you crazy?
Okay, just
Ian,
throwing it out there. Something that could occupy your time.
I have been
and solve at least one of
scrapbooking,
the problems you gave
and
me.
all I am saying is that if I could have a wedding scrapbook to work on someday called
Mom!
Ian's Wedding, I'm just saying someday, I know you're young now, but life comes at you fast, sweetheart. You have to start looking for
Why can't you plan for Fleur's wedding?
Because she's Fleur, sweetheart. I'll have to plan for 4 of those.
Mom!
What?
That's so bad to say. I can't
Sweetheart,
believe you said that. I'm going to tell her that later.
You can tell her that. We are the same person. I look at her and I go, wow, you know what came out of my vagina? One of me. Like,
Wait, have you had multiple marriages, Mom?
No, but before your father and I got together, I dated like 3 different guys. They were all terrible for me. And your dad was just, he was different. And he was charming and he's funny and strong and kind of rebellious in a unique way and smart. That's the thing that really attracted me to your father.
I mean, he's definitely smart.
Well, he was, because that's the thing is that I've met so many barbarians who were just, they weren't stupid, but they never wanted to think things through. And your father's always just been a tactician. So, have you met yourself any tacticians, Ian?
No, not a tactician.
It's a metaphor, Florian.
Okay, Mom. Okay, listen. You can't tell Fleur. You can't tell Dad.
Okay, I can't.
This is just between us.
She like does a little pinky promise. No crosses count.
As if she's definitely gonna tell Fleur.
Ian takes a deep breath and he's like, okay, so like, I don't really know what it is, but there's this member of our adventuring party who at first I was like, oh, she's kind of cute. And
she's like nodding along in the enthusiastic mom way, like, yeah.
And she's like kind of funky and weird, but like in a cool way. And I don't know. At first I was just like, oh, this is going to be someone who's a great friend. And then she saved my best t-shirt, the one from Dreamer's Grove.
Oh, with the holes in the armpits?
Yeah, she made sure that it didn't get stains on it.
Okay.
And then I don't know, like she rode on my bike once. It was kind of cool. She smells really nice. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, cute! Oh, my little Ian has a crush.
No, not a crush. I'm just saying she's cool. She's interesting.
Is she pretty?
Yeah, she's pretty. Honestly, Mom, you might know her parents.
What are her parents' names?
Vivian and Jean Motley.
Jean Motley, the romance writer?
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, in the goddess's name. Oh, Ian, I'm so excited. Okay, go up there and pull down the glass mixing bowl and then get my rolling pin out of the top cupboard, the one with the dog.
Mom, you're not going to make a wedding cake right now.
It's for the pies, Ian.
Oh my God. Okay.
He's so dumb. I love you.
Sometimes you are purposefully obtuse. I
I'm not
love you so much,
obtuse.
my beautiful boy. Thank you for sharing with me. I appreciate it. It takes a lot of trust, and your mom loves you so much, and I'm so proud of you.
He like begrudgingly grabs the mixing bowl and hands it to her and says, "You're welcome, Mom. I love you too."
Okay, perfect. Now get out of my kitchen and go give your dog a bath. He smells like wet him.
Does he? And Ian like kneels down and shoves his face in Aspen's fur and takes a deep inhale. And he's like, it smells like Aspen to me.
Oh my
It's
God.
a nice occasion. Groom him, wash him, put a bowl around his neck, and dinner will be ready in 3 hours.
Oh my God. Okay. Ian's going to head upstairs and like tut Aspen to follow. And he's going to take, I guess, his backpack too, because he probably hasn't gone to his room yet, and kind of like throw it into his room onto his bed. And then he wants to go check some things out, maybe in the attic, if possible.
Go to the attic. That's fine.
So he goes up to the attic and like leaves Aspen in his room. And
Aspen falls asleep on your bed immediately.
Perfect. He wants to see if he can maybe find like some pictures of himself when he was younger, or maybe like, I don't know, a birth certificate.
Roll an investigation check.
Okay. I know it's a wild chance, but I gotta do it. 13.
So you climb up the stairs to the attic and you realize that your mother has turned the attic into some kind of scrapbooking room.
Of course she has.
There are dozens of scrapbooks. You dig through them and you find one labeled My First Year, Fleur and Ian.
Aww.
There are a bunch of pictures of you and Fleur together as babies, both of you in the sink that's filled up with bubbles. Your dad holding you, standing like waist deep in the surf of an ocean somewhere and smiling. You flip it over and on the back it says Aquara Spring Break, with like the year you were 1 year old. There's just a bunch of pictures of you and Fleur as babies. And then there's one from the hospital. It's one of the very last photos in there. Your mom is lying in a bed dressed in a hospital gown that's tied in the back. Cradled against her chest is a little bundle with a little patch of blonde curly hair peeking out of the top. And next to her, grinning, leaning down, is your father, holding a little bundle of his own. You look at this picture and you realize that you do look a little bit older than Fleur. She's kind of that wrinkled, like pink that very newborn babies are. You, meanwhile, kind of look like you've been alive for a little bit longer. Still newborn and squishy, but not pink, not wrinkled, sort of well-adjusted. You notice that your dad is holding you exceptionally close to his chest, and your little hand is bunched up in his shirt. And he's smiling, this like really genuine smile, and you can see tears at the corner of his eyes.
No. Ian's gonna pull out his sending phone and snap a quick picture of that just to kind of save it for later.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I feel like you want to look at it later.
That's exceptionally cute.
There is a couple more scrapbooks you find, one of which is labeled, it's kind of more of like you notice it and it doesn't seem to be new. It seems to be fairly old. Your mom has been scrapbooking on and off for a while. It's like one of those hobbies that she can't quite put down. Like when she starts going through a rough patch, she's like, time to grab the scalloping shears. So you find this scrapbook. It's got kind of like a dull faded cover. And it looks like maybe one of her first scrapbooks, kind of pasted onto the front in like cutout letters, is the words Florian Pharaoh. You open it up and there's no birth certificate or anything, but there is a picture. You can't quite make out the face in the picture or any real features, but it's a picture of a woman. You think maybe dark hair, slender hands, holding a baby that you recognize as you. And when you flip it over, you see it says, Ian and Mom. Someone has gone in with red ink and added quotation marks around the word mom. As you go to put the picture back into the scrapbook, it falls to dust in your hands. We will be back next week with episode 11 of the Tabletop Tavern. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Be sure to tune in for more of whatever this was. And remember, kids, it's not cool to smoke. Rosalie's parents just have a lot on their plate. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for watching Tabletop Tavern. If you want even more of us and our shenanigans, check us out every Monday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time on twitch.tv. You can also listen to us on your morning commute, doing laundry, not listening to your meetings during the workday, on any podcasting platform. We are probably there. Otherwise, check out our socials down below and be sure to follow us on Twitter. And until next time, go grab.